Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Friday. We are at the end of the working week. It is the 23rd day of May 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. And this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akinlabi Holder, and it's good to be here with you all on the last working day of the week. And Dana, I'm pretty excited. I have a couple little small joys to participate in this weekend that, I'm really looking forward to.
Well, I'm excited to hear what's in the plans for the weekend.
No, it's not really anything grand or extravagant, it's really mundane things. A couple, I want to go to the cinema, watch a nice movie. I heard the new Mission Impossible is out, and I know I have a church conference this weekend that I'm excited about. So I'm looking forward to those things. And I might just be going tonight to the turtle watching with the BHS Environmental Club.
I'm thinking that might be a good thing to do tonight, actually. Thanks for reminding me about that, I don't really have specific plans for the weekend, but we'll see how it goes as long as God continues to give us life.
Yes.
All things are possible.
Yes.
So let me see what's happening on the weekend, Yes. And, sometimes there are some activities or events we mightn't even be aware of, so something might pop up.
That's true.
Of course, the standard spending time with family, friends, loved ones,
Relaxation,
getting your rest,
yes. That kind of thing. Yes, but I find in the Tobago space these days, there are a lot of activities taking place, a lot of persons throwing the small events.
Yeah.
And you only see them afterwards on social media, they pop up and they tell yourself, this is really nice, I could attend that. It's not your usual, and I'm not bashing them, but it's not your usual wine and jam kind of event. Sometimes it's just a nice, mellow, relaxed event that's, some persons who not on that sort of high energy, who not looking for those kind of high energy things to do, could participate in.
Yeah, so let's see how the weekend goes by God's amazing grace. Yes. I don't know what you our viewers have planned for the weekend, but of course we do hope whatever you do this weekend that you are able to have a good time. And if of course you can't behave yourself, then at least be safe, right? Before we get into our conversations this morning in studio, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, May 23rd, 2025. Aiming to cut government spending, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar announced in a post-cabinet briefing plans to reassess state expenditures on property rentals, private security, legal services, and priority bus route passes. She criticized the $493 million spent on property rentals last fiscal year, much of it on expired leases or without cabinet approval, calling it dead money. The government will renegotiate agreements and repurpose unused state properties. Security services costing $500 million annually are also under review, along with over-issued priority bus route passes. Persad-Bissessar also vowed to expose overpaid anonymous state attorneys and noted $135 million was collected in property tax since February 2024. Following a violent altercation outside Mason Hall Secondary School involving students and 2 adults, Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association Tobago officer Braden Roberts expressed deep concern over increasing youth violence. Roberts attributed this trend to gang culture, lack of parental support, and insufficient educational programs for struggling students. He called for a unified response involving community police, social services, educators, and lawmakers. Meanwhile, the Division of Education confirmed an ongoing investigation and emphasized the importance of following school protocols. And finally, the ceremonial opening of the Trinidad and Tobago's 13th Republican Parliament takes place today at 1:30 p.m. at the Red House in Port-of-Spain. President Christine Kangaloo will deliver her ceremonial address to a joint sitting of Parliament. Proceedings begin with members of both houses taking oaths and electing president officers. The 2 Tobago MPs are expected to be sworn in today. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Bianna, for our news there in 90 seconds. And of course, exciting things happening today.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and of course, we are going to be sitting in front of our devices, our television screens, or whatever devices we are today to take in the parliamentary proceedings today.
Yes, yes.
We've waited for it for quite some time, and when the announcement came, I think it was a couple last week or the week before, of course, we know that today would be the day.
Yes.
And so we're sitting here waiting, and of course, our two MPs, Tobago MPs, are expected to be sworn in today as well.
Yes.
So, of course, you know, all of Tobago, all 60,000 of us strong, would be in front of our televisions, you know, whatever side of the political fence we sit on, we are all going to be paying attention to what is happening.
Yes.
Because one thing about Tobago, in as much as we have our own opinions, we have our own alliances, our main alliance is for Tobago. And that's what I feel in terms of when things like this, you know, going to be taking place. We Tobago boys, whether we are for red, blue, green, yellow, purple, orange, those are our guys, and we're going to be sitting to give the support to them today.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about the proceedings?
Well, I'm just anticipating the swearing in because we have a lot of we had a lot of to and fro about the effectiveness of the TPP's two MPs to be able to be independent and negotiate. So the opening of the parliamentary term is just it's the start of what we everybody has been talking about. So we could now see who would be right in terms of how powerful those two seats would be in terms of negotiating and making a better deal for Tobagonians, particularly on the issue of autonomy.
And you know, I feel I really want to test this theory because usually the two MPs would have been attached to the political party who has the administration for the government, right?
Yes.
And so their voices would be among those who sit in governance. But now as we have these two representatives, I really want to see how that is going to work. And I really feel that there might be some type of a difference, but I'm just waiting to see how it unfolds, how the two young men approach their position, the type of support they will be getting, and the kind of responses, how they are able to form relationships and you know, sustainable relationships, and of course make the impact and ensure that the voice of Tobago is heard. So you know, it's very, very interesting to see how that is possibly going to go in this season.
Yes, and things like this, a lot of persons are they sort of have a position of dismay when these kinds of things happen. But for me, all of this is part of nation building. These groundbreaking things help us to define who we are and what works, what doesn't work, you know, moving forward. So something new like this happening isn't a cause for concern, but it really should be more of a time of anticipation.
Of course, and you know, and as I said, you know, it's a learning process, really and truly. It's I honestly want to see how it rolls out. And at the end of the day, all of us should be looking for the best possible outcome. And I feel as if, as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter what political side we are affiliated with. I feel as if we should all throw our support to these two young men, because at the end of the day, who are they representing?
Tobago.
They're not just representing members of the TPP party. Whatever discussions they're able to have, you know, it will impact all of us. So I say we throw our support to them and let us see, you know, hope for the best, and of course, wait to see how things roll out.
I agree.
All right, Bianna, it's Friday.
Yes,
You know, and the weekend is ahead of us.
Oh, yeah.
Any plans for the weekend? I can be talking about going to the movies and all these sorts of things. Do you have any plans?
I'll just take it as it comes.
Take it as it comes. All right, live in the moment, and remember to give God thanks and praise for life each moment of the day.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Bianna, for being with us this morning, and we do hope you have a wonderful day, and we see you again on Monday.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And of course, you know, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love a good celebration. So of course, we're going to say happy birthday this morning. We start off by saying happy birthday. Akilabi, help me to pronounce this name.
I think that is Sharon D. Map.
Right, Sharon D. Map is celebrating a birthday today, and we want to say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today.
And we continue the celebrations when we say happy birthday to Becky. She just goes by the name Becky. Happy belated birthday to you. We hope that you had an amazing time for your birthday.
And this birthday shout out is coming especially from Beard Boss, Akil Andrew. Yes, he is. It was supposed to come out yesterday, so Becky, we do apologize, but we do hope that you still have an amazing birthday. So happy birthday to you, Becky. And our final birthday celebration for this morning, birthday love and blessings to my daddy, Elton Richards, from me, and this me is Rhea Richardson, Rhea Richardson George, saying happy birthday to her father Elton Richardson, from Rhea and her siblings and the entire family, sending love, birthday love to you there. Look at the smile. And one thing about this family, they're real together, they real love each other, they always, you always see them together, always involved in each other, and they speak so highly of each other. So of course, Mr. Richardson, we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday there today, and you get to enjoy it and spend time with your loved ones. And of course, even though we don't have your photograph today, and if you are celebrating, we join in the celebration with you. Whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, whatever you are celebrating, we join in and we remind you to put God first, because He is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. So it's Friday, and usually we have a light program for you every Friday. Akinlabi, who are we speaking with today?
Yeah, so the program is packed, but it's light, like you said. Excuse me. We have in studio with us today Mr. Louis Charles, who is the General Manager, and Mr. Giovanni Campbell, the Secretary of the Education Committee, and they are part of the Mount Pleasant Credit Union, and they're going to be talking about the 75th anniversary celebrations. After that, we're going to have in Pastor Terence Baines, and he's going to be talking about an event called Praise by the Pool. So you remember we were talking about events, and there are a lot of events on the calendar in Tobago these days. There's another one, Praise by the Pool. Pastor Terence Baines will be coming to speak about that. And then in the last session of the program, we're going to have Marcus Daniel on, and he's going to be speaking with Karen Forbes, who is a professional footballer, and she's going to be talking about her program, Kick It with Karen Football Events.
Sounds good, sounds really good, and that's how we keep it on Fridays, nice and light. And of course, we always want you to be a part of the conversation. Remember that you can leave your comments on our Facebook and YouTube live streams, and whether you are viewing on AMPLIA 102 or Flow 121 or 130, we welcome you this morning, and we say thank you so much for choosing us. It is because of you why we remain #1 for morning show here on the island of Tobago. As you stay with us as we go through these conversations this morning, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl, get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up! It's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Saving up to go. Anything we not backing down, like a bomb we ready to explode. Ain't gonna wait until my back against the wall. Ain't gonna.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. As you are aware, it's Friday and anything can happen in studio, and we're always happy to be having conversations with you and to know that you are here with us as we go through the topics, as we have the discussions with our guests, and even if we have banter among ourselves as the hosts, which we are about to do this morning. So Akinlabi,
yes,
I know we were talking this morning about the swearing in of the 2 Tobago MPs today in the Parliament as the Parliament resumes today. And so we were talking off air about the fact that there's actually going to be a watch party today.
And that's something I learned today because I didn't know that was happening. This is the first time I'm actually hearing about a watch party for the swearing in of MPs. So it kind of shows you that there's a lot of excitement on the ground about what this new term holds for Tobago.
That's right. And, you know, I think it is a good thing for Tobago. And as I was mentioning earlier in the introduction, that we shouldn't just see it as a political thing or a party thing, in as much as it is for the party members to come together to show that measure of support. But I also feel as if it's a good thing for Tobago. It creates a space. In fact, the watch party is going to be at the Food Hub. For those of you who are interested, I can't remember the exact time that they're going to be starting, but it's going to be at the Food Hub today. We'll get that information to you. But I think that watch party is a good thing for Tobago in the fact that it allows for socialization for one. It's Friday. It provides an opportunity for people to have the types of conversations that they might not have usually. Let's say I am looking at this event in my living room. Who am I speaking with? You know, I'm walking on the street and I'm watching it on my phone. You create a space now where people can really they can come together. The discussions that you might not usually have on a platform or that you might not usually have in a meeting setting, you're more casually laid back. Those types of conversations can come to the fore in that kind of setting, you know. Things that we might not have thought about for an administration to carry out, things that we might not have thought about. In that kind of setting, it would create that kind of environment, that kind of opportunity. So I feel as if it's a good thing for Tobago, and I don't feel as if it's restricted to just TPP now. I don't know, I didn't plan this thing. I don't know what the objectives are, but this is my opinion that it is not just, it shouldn't just be for the party. It should be open for Tobago so we could come together and say, listen, we're supporting these boys. At the end of the day, they're representing us when they go down the road.
Well, the good thing is that the 2 MPs, they're very popular in the Tobago space. And so maybe even if they didn't vote for them, they may still want to wish them well because they know them, they're cordial with them, they perhaps may even be friends with them. So you might see a good cross-section of persons at the watch party. I would really be interested to see how many people come out to that because it seems like a novel idea. I've heard of watch parties for sporting events, watch parties for pageants, beauty pageants, and watch parties for a number of other things. But in terms of a watch party for the opening of our parliament term, I haven't seen that before, and I think that would be really, really interesting.
And that's the thing about us here in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly in the Tobago space, you know, we will find our means to an end.
Yes.
We will find our way, we're very, very creative where that is concerned, and we kind of, and that to me speaks to the spirit of unity and togetherness and the type of support. And we say it here on this station as often as we can. Whenever we have somebody from Tobago taking the national stage or an international stage, we rally. We find our way and we rally, right? That's how the living room association was formed. The living room sporting association was formed. This is literally people in the living room watching at sporting events, commenting on social media, and boom, they came together and they have that. And that is what we are about. That's what we are like in Tobago. The spirit of Tobago is, you know, being showcased when we have situations like this. And I really do hope that people kind of maximize the opportunity. I'm not saying to stay away from work. I'm not saying to skive off your responsibilities and your duties. But, you know, show your face, see what's happening down there. And as you rightfully said, I would really like to see the numbers. Not just the numbers, but the composition of people who come out. Because I really want... I like the idea. I like the vibes.
And like you said about Tobagonians, the good thing about Tobagonians, even though we are in contention with each other, particularly how we were in strong contention with each other for the duration of the campaign. After that, we tend to bury those differences because we know at the end of the day, we live in a small society. We are only 60,000 people. We say we're 60,000 strong, but we are only 60,000 people, and we know that even though we disagree, we have to live with each other, and we have to absolutely work with each other in order for the island to move forward.
And viewers, I want to pose this question to you today. Do you think that the watch party idea is a good idea? That's question number one. And do you think you would want to participate, as in go down to the food hub today, just to be among friends, just to be among people in Tobago having like mind, wanting the same thing for Tobago's, and cheering on the two representatives from Tobago as they are sworn in today? Would you be a part of that? You can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel. We want to know what you think about it, and will you be there today? Are we still waiting on details in terms of what time? If somebody knows the time, they can also reach out to us so that we can confirm the time of the watch party taking place there at the food hub today. Akinlabi is good stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really is good stuff. And I think the food hub is a good location also, a good venue.
Also a lot of parking. And even if you don't park at food hub full, there's a shore park right across the road. So it's like you said, it's a good venue.
It's a good venue. And also, let's see with the vendors who coming out today. I think it's a great opportunity for vending.
To make money, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really great.
Money today.
And I'm wondering if the organizers of this watch party considered all of these things. I wonder if there was a conversation with all the stakeholders to see how best everybody can benefit from what is happening. And as much as we're celebrating, there must be some sort of, returns on the investment. And I am excited. I am excited to see how it plays out. And I want us to take pattern from this specific, not necessarily the event, but the thought that went into the event. I want us to take pattern for this in any situation we have here on the island of Tobago, whether we're in competition or whether we have two different options and we're competing, whatever the outcome is, let us come together to support, because at the end of the day, it's only Tobago who can win, and we either win or we lose.
Yeah.
And when we want to go down there we want to win. We have things that we have to discuss. Autonomy, of course, being the primary thing that everybody is talking about. But there are other things as well that we want to, that you would expect them to raise and discuss and ensure Tobago is in a better place. You're talking about budget share. You're talking about, we've been hearing talks about reforming the curriculum to be a little bit Tobago-centric, so all of those things are part of the discussion as well. And I'm hoping that while people are there today,
they could have those conversations.
That they could bring up these things, because I want to make sure that Tobagonians understand what it means to be represented and what we really want on the island of Tobago. How do we change the face of Tobago in the House? I mean, in the THA only has certain responsibility for certain things that they can do here, which we've been seeing happening together with the stakeholders. But what does it really mean for those two MPs who are going to be sworn in today? What are they allowed to do? What is within their remit to do, and how often can they speak? The other interesting thing is the day that is given for the opposition to speak.
It's once a month, and now that has to be shared between the PNM and the TPP. And I don't know how well they get along with each other, how well they speak and negotiate behind the scenes. But that would be something very interesting to see, because now we are at a point where, before, when it was just the TPP versus the PNM in the THA, there really wasn't any need for any sort of negotiations, or it's just back and forth contention. I put my position forward, you put your position forward, and we let the people decide. But now they are in a position in the opposition benches of the parliament, where they are forced now to negotiate with each other on speaking time.
And I'm wondering, this part I didn't research, and I should have done it. In as much as they have once per month, is it possible for both parties to speak on that one speaking, or how does it work? How much time is allotted? Can they speak on more than one topic? Can they, that's the thing. These are the things we need to find out.
How many issues can they bring up in the one setting? In the one sitting, and if they could bring up multiple issues in the one sitting, then maybe they could share speaking time. But if it's only one issue you could debate on that day, then that will pose a problem.
And that will show you, it shouldn't pose a problem, it should show your political will. It should show your love for country, because remember, going into this, all the parties were talking about how they love Tobago, because the Tobago seats were critical in this election. And so everybody was talking about how much they love Tobago. So I feel that once per month, that will determine your political will and your real love for Tobago. So I really want to see how that is going to roll out.
Well, we always talk about political maturity in Trinidad and Tobago, but at the end of the day, the demands of politics tend to override our sense of maturity and our sense of what's best for Tobago, what's best for Trinidad and Tobago. But like you said, we'll see how it plays out.
That's right. But at the end of the day, Tobago, there's a watch party taking place this afternoon at the Food Hub. Remember, the 2 Tobago MPs are being sworn in today in Parliament, and we want to be there to lend our support. So even if you can't make it to the Food Hub, I suggest you log on, you watch the on your televisions right here on Tobago Updates Television. We'll be bringing you the live broadcast, so you can log on to see what is happening. We'll let you know what time they are starting, but it's happening today, and we all have to support, because at the end of the day, Tobago is the one who will be benefiting. Well, we're going for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be having conversations with our guests in studio, so stay with us. And as you stay, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games, and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Jesus, I want you. Father, I need you. Lord, I must have you. Can't live without you. Sweet Holy Spirit, this ain't no.
What's up, guys? This is your boy Donald Job, and I'm standing here at Birchwood Legacy Park, where we're going to have Praise by the Pool next week, Friday, the 30th of May at 6 p.m. I'm going to be alongside Grace like Sean Daniel, Chantal Lindsay, Terrence Baines, and so much more. Guys, tickets only 150 TT. Available at Penny Savers Pharmacy, Canby, and the Canaan, and Endeavors in Scarborough. Guys, 6 p.m. next week, Friday, the 30th. See you there.
Bless a man
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. And you heard it, Praise by the Pool. Where would you be? Where will you be for the Praise by the Pool? This morning in studio with me is Bishop Terence Baines, and we're going to be talking all things Praise by the Pool. Good morning, Mr. Baines, and welcome.
Good morning.
Why are you laughing this morning?
Good morning.
The joy of the Lord is your strength this morning. That's right.
Indeed. How are you?
I am well. And so we have these events coming up. I know it's a long weekend and there's so many things happening.
Sure.
And I like these events.
Yes.
I like this event, and it's looking like something I should be at.
Yes.
So talk us through the idea behind Praise by the Pool.
Right.
You hear about pool parties, you hear about all kind of things, but we're praising by the pool. So give us the concept for this event.
Well, Birchwood Legacy Park is a, for want of a better word, an entertainment spot. That is actually, this is the first event that we have in there, pretty much launching the facility. It is run by Lady Sylvia Yates, and of course located down in the lowlands area. Just that street after Wassa, if you're going south, you make the left into the street. It is a very nice, cozy spot for healthy entertainment and social functions and so on, weddings, birthday parties, that kind of thing. I was particularly attracted to this spot because, we have always thought about a spot where persons, especially those who may be of Christian persuasion or may not necessarily like some of the clubs and that kind of thing, a spot where you could have some healthy entertainment, clean entertainment, and so on, food and drink and that kind of thing. So, in an effort to officially launch this spot, we had the conversation about what can we do, and we came up with this idea of doing this Praise by the Pool. And of course the holiday is coming up. It's a long weekend and so on, and we want to make this available, not just a spot that people could come, but we launched the facility and promote it that it can be used going forward for different functions and that kind of thing.
So I suppose after patrons come to this event and they see the setup and the layout and how you can use the venue, they can also bring their events to the venue as well.
Of course, it is a fantastic spot for birthday parties. This is a fantastic spot for all those kinds of family-oriented social events, and as we're going to do on next Friday, it's a concert spot as well.
Right. And Praise by the Pool, as I mentioned before, you hear about pool parties, you hear about all types of things happening around a pool, and now we're going to praise, right? So there's going to be high praise around this pool, right? So tell us a little bit in terms of some of the persons who are expected to be there, and what will the event look and feel like?
Yes. Well, I mean, again, it speaks for itself, really. It's not a... there are different types of events you go. It's not a worship session you're going to where, there's a different kind of setup and a feel, because it is a Christian social experience. I think sometimes we make the mistake to think that Christians do not have a social appetite. They don't have an appetite for entertainment. And I think that is it is a fallacy that sometimes people promote. So we're going to have food. We're going to have good gospel music that you could move your feet to. You understand? Move your body.
That's
to,
right.
You understand? And it's going to be a fantastic evening. The ambience is exceptional. And of course the artists that we have lined up for the event. We have Gen X, we have Samantha, who has been campaigning in Trinidad for the last few years. She's originally from Lambo. We have, of course, I call her the queen of gospel music in Tobago in this era and this time, Lady Chantel Lindsay. We have Donald Job. Donald has been a consistent man on the landscape. Sean Daniel, everybody know what Sean brings, and of course I am in the mix myself to make sure, that I get a taste of the thing.
That's right, that's right. And I like the difference from what I'm hearing. I'm a Christian too, I always say this on the station, I don't hide it.
Yes.
And the different types of genres of music.
Certainly.
I like the feel. So it kind of sounds to me as if it's a space for everybody.
Sure. And of course, there will be food on sale and that kind of thing. The whole idea is to make the experience a very healthy one and an entertaining one, that kind of thing. I know Christians don't like the word entertainment. I don't know what the word do to them. You understand? To us, let me say to us. You understand? But Christians need to be entertained as well. There are some times you just need an environment where you could just chill, and it's not a prayer meeting. It's not casting out devils. You understand? It's just that environment that you could chill and you can appreciate. And notwithstanding that we really want the public to have a sense and a feel of the facility as well, and so they can take advantage of it going forward. If they have any function that they're planning, that kind of thing, that's the spot that you could be at. And I have my own ideas, some of my own personal things going forward. So I have to say that part of my reason for being on the cast is I have my own personal agenda.
That's right. Yes. Shameless plug, and I like it very much. Pastor Baines, I want to go back a little bit to something you said earlier, that we must recognize that Christians do have a social appetite.
Sure.
And sometimes, as you mentioned as well, sometimes we don't like to hear the word because we think it's worldly.
Yes.
We think it's a sin to be entertained, and it can't be a sin to be entertained because the things that we carry on our shoulders as Christians, as human beings, first of all. And when you decide to walk that path, it's really, really heavy on you kind of need something to laugh at. You need something to sing along to, something to just relax.
Human beings are designed with a capacity to be entertained. That is not a heaven or hell issue. That is just a part of the whole human experience. It is suppressed by belief systems. But the truth of the matter is, there are some times that you just need to be in an environment where you can enjoy and appreciate something that is entertaining. It ain't bringing no guilt to you. It ain't bringing no stress to you. And I mean, all the issues that we contend with as human beings. There are some issues that require prayer. There are some issues require fasting. Some issues require a word and all those kinds of. But there are some issues that just require a chill.
That's right. Absolutely. And no better place to be than this next Friday. Praise by the pool. Praise by the pool.
It requires chill, and you never know who you might meet. Somebody, some of you single women. Yes, this is a thus said the Lord for you. You understand? You might meet somebody there and vice versa and so on. So it also has that component to it. It is a meetup spot.
Pastor Baines.
No, it's very possible. I mean, all joke aside, I believe it is a fantastic opportunity and a fantastic event. I want to encourage all those who may have a desire for something like this. You may not have anywhere to go on that evening and so on, or you just want to do something different. This is the spot to be at Praise by the Pool. We down there and the place is fantastic. I mean, you see the images there. It's just a nice
ambient.
I mean, nice is a terrible word. Nice, but it is a fantabulous place. It is a fantabulous place, and I have to give credit to the manager of this spot, Lady Sylvia Yates. Sylvia has a touch for decorations and interior design, and she's a kind of decoration scientist.
I like that too.
Some people will chop a flower there, chop a picture there, and thing. And no, but there's a science to it, and the place looks really, really well. The facilities and so on, and especially like if you're going to have a wedding. they have some rooms there and stuff that just amazing for preparation and beautiful holding place and so on. There's a rotunda area and stuff, and of course the pool is next door, and you can set up your and your food area and all of that. You know, there's space for that as well. So I'm really happy.
Likewise, I feel as if I want to head down there now. Pastor Baines, in terms of tickets for the event, what is the cost of the tickets and where can we find them?
So we saw the ticket spots running on the screen. I just asked the guys if they could just put that up one more time. Of course, the event, the tickets are $150. You understand? And of course, Penny Savers, Pharmacy, Canaan and Canby, always loved, NSL School, and Office Supplies in Canaan. So you can, and of course you can just pay at the door if you come.
Right.
And we're not charging you anything extra if you come and pay at the door. We just really want you to come and enjoy the experience. It is going to be fantastic.
And it begins at 6 p.m. Viewers, I think this is a very, very good event for you to be a part of. Praise by the Pool. It's a relaxing time. It's a relaxing evening. Long weekend holiday. And so, of course, we want you to come and have a good time. You just might see somebody somebody from TV might be there. Next week Friday.
And them fellas who doesn't go no way. And, we'll see if we could get them, some of them fellas in the studio. Yeah, we don't see them nowhere else outside the studio. They should get out sometimes.
That's right. That's right.
They should get out.
That's right. So next Friday, 6 p.m. Friday, 30th May, 6 p.m. Praise by the Pool is at Birchwood Triangle. $150 for the tickets. You can find them at Penny Savers Pharmacies in Canby and Canaan, as well as Always Loved by Endeavors and NSL School and Office Supplies in Canaan as well. $150 for an evening of fun, entertainment, relaxation, socialization, good food, good company, good music by the pool.
Yes.
So we hope to see you all there. Thank you so much, Pastor Baines.
Yes. And thank you so much for having me. I always thank the team here at Tobago Updates for facilitating us when we have these things to promote and so on. We are thankful. We're looking forward to seeing Mr. William Nana. I'm putting this one out. We need to see Mr. Nana. I've not seen Mr. Nana in a social event for quite some time. So we'll ask the personnel to put the word out that we needed to see him there.
On the playback, Mr. William Nana, you will get this message, so ensure that you are by the pool come next week, Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl, get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Harblow Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up! It's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We continue the conversations, and in studio we have right now Mr. Louis Charles, who is the General Manager of the Mount Pleasant Credit Union, and Ms. Giovanni Campbell, who is the Secretary of the Education Committee, and they're here to talk to us about the 75th anniversary of the Mount Pleasant Credit Union. That's right, 75 years of the Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Good morning and welcome, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yes, so let's go straight into it. When is the 75th anniversary celebrations of the Mount Pleasant Credit Union?
Well, actually, it's today.
It's today?
Today, the exact date. 23rd of May, 1950 was when the credit union was born.
Okay.
So today we're actually exactly 75 years.
Okay, and just give us a little bit of history about the credit union when it started. Well, we said the 23rd of May, but just give us a little history of the credit union.
Okay, so on that day, it was a Tuesday, I understand.
Yes, it was a Tuesday.
We had 12 members coming together to form the credit union, because back then there was issues with members or what we say grassroots people accessing banks. So they come together, pool the resources to form the Mount Pleasant Credit Union. On the 10th of June, we were registered as a credit union. Number 8 is our registration number. The first chairman or president was Mr. Henry Archer, who would have fought to bring the credit union where it is today. Also, we had, back then, in 1950, we had just about 149 members. Our assets was about $900, loans about $500. Today, we have grown to assets of over $400 million. Our membership is over 18,000. We have loans in the amount of 185 million, and we also have shares of 192. So we have grown quite a bit
Quite significantly.
over the years.
Okay, and just tell us about the happenings today, because today is a big day. Today is 75 years. Just tell us about these celebrations that will be taking place today.
All right. So today at Mount Pleasant Credit Union, well, we have 2 branches. We have one at Total Holdings at Bonaccord Canaan branch, and then we have one at Canby. So once you come to the credit union today, you will be expected to receive treats in the form of cupcakes or snack boxes. We also have special giveaways and so forth. So we are commemorating or celebrating our 75 years in existence today. So pass through, tell your friends, your family, and so forth, just to step in. And you might be surprised at what you would receive today.
Now, I know that the Mount Pleasant Credit Union, they always have a lot of offerings and initiatives that they undertake. Tell us about some of the programs that the credit union, for those who may not be very familiar, like myself, I'm not a member. I've always told myself that I want to join the Mount Pleasant Credit Union.
Today, we hope you will sign up.
Well, now that I'm hearing about, the celebrations and the history, I think it's something that I really want to be a part of. I think it's a big part of Tobago's legacy in terms of credit union and financial institutions that are Tobago-centric. But just tell us a bit about the programs being offered by the Mount Pleasant Credit Union.
All right, so I will speak to the education program, and then we'll have the general manager speak to the loan products and other programs. So as it pertains to the education program, we have quite a few celebrations or programs, activities that we have coming up. So just as early as Tuesday of next week, we should have a promotion or maybe an activity, an educational program where we speak to loans and what we have and savings and so forth. And then later on in the month, we have, or Sunday, we actually have a church celebration at the Montgomery Moravian Church at 9. So once you're a member or just you're in the area community, make sure and wear your blue and come out. We have our family day that we'll have coming up pretty soon, a gala, an award ceremony. We have quite a few and other educational training programs we have.
Okay, so Mr. General Manager, tell us about the special offerings that the Mount Pleasant Credit Union has coming up. We know that, persons always looking for money, they want to do things, So just tell us a bit about the special offerings that the Mount Pleasant Credit Union has.
Okay, well, right now we have the, what do you call a media special, where entails members would come in and it goes from $20,000 up to $100,000. Members come in and they put a certain amount of money on their shares. Some money of the loan goes back on your shares, and you have between 3 years, 4 years to repay. So the range is between $20,000 to $100,000. Those funds could be used for debt consolidation, for education, for renovations, all that. Coming up very soon, we also have what you call a 75th anniversary vehicle loan special. Where to buy new vehicles, we have reduced rate. The reduced rate is far less than what it is right now. This will go up until December, and the time has been extended. You have up to 8 years to pay back for this loan. All right. In the pipeline, we have also loans that we're going to bring on board for building, both for private use and also for commercial use. So those things are in the pipeline and we'll be rolling out very soon during the year of our celebrations.
Okay, I have one last question. It's been niggling on my mind for years and years and years.
Wow.
We say Mount Pleasant Credit Union, but I've never seen the building. It's in Canby. I always wondered, why is it Mount Pleasant Credit Union and the building is in Canby? Tell us a bit about the history of, was that the first location of Mount Pleasant Credit Union?
No, it was not. Actually, when the credit union was formed, they used to meet at the old St. Patrick School.
Oh,
okay. That is school going up by the church, St. Patrick's Anglican Church. There was a school building right on the bottom of the hill there. So that was the first place to have meetings. Actually, and then they used to have community spots. Great community spots where they'd meet to have to do transactions. And actually, I was told that the office was a grip, the old-time grip. That was it. From then we had, so for a number of years, that was the case. Then we opened a branch at the back of the old cooperative building. That was in 1976. Our first manager back then was Mr. Anthony Roberts. Since then, we had moved to Scarborough. That was since consolidated back to Canby. We also had a branch in Canaan. And then when we bought the lands at Bonaccord, we would have gone and have our branch down at Bonaccord. So now we have two branches, one at Bonaccord, and our head office is at Canby. In between the years, we'd have gone into initiatives like property development, that is at Bonaccord, and also at Bacalet. In Bonaccord, we acquired the Bonaccord estate from Gordon Grant. In Bacalet, we bought the lands from Chinley. We have developed over 310 lots in the Bonaccord area, and to date we have developed 210 lots in Bacalet, developed and sold. That milestone is a significant milestone for the credit union, even for the credit union in the Caribbean, because we were one of the first to ever got involved in that sort of land development. It had its challenges in terms of financing and getting approvals on time, but we weathered the storm and we are here today, brave and strong.
All right, well, Mr. Charles and Ms. Campbell, we want to thank you very much for coming in and speaking to us about the 75th anniversary of the Mount Pleasant Credit Union. And we hope that your celebrations will go well and that the credit union will grow from strength to strength. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we take a break right now, and when we come back, Marcus Daniel will be in studio, and he'll be talking with Miss Karen Forbes about Kick It with Karen football event. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hey viewers, welcome back to Tobago Updates Television. Yes, we are now into the sporting segment, and thank you guys so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television. It's Friday, 23rd May. Well, of course, the month and the year running away from us. Of course, on set this morning, we have none other than the impressive Karen Forbes. Karen Forbes, of course, a women's footballer, national player. Good morning to you, Ms. Forbes.
Hey, good morning, Marcus. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. And we're talking about Kick It with Karen this morning. And it's already up on us again.
Yes.
You know, I'm knowing all of Tobago, and of course the young ones, they are looking forward to getting out there tomorrow, in fact over the weekend, and doing their thing, winning those lovely medals and trophies and all these different things.
That's correct.
And of course, I mean, I'm not the promoter. You are, right? So, of course, you can share with all of Tobago what can we expect, and, of course, share the information about Kick It with Karen this year.
So, Marcus, we are in our 10th annual Kick It with Karen tournament.
Yeah.
And indeed, that's a huge milestone for us. I'm really excited because, you know, for doing something that consistent for so many years.
10 years, a decade.
It's a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that I'm able to build on the event as I go along. So on the 24th, which is this Saturday, we have the U9, U11, U13s, and U15 categories, right? And then we have on the second day, we have U13 girls, U15 girls, female open, and male open.
Okay, so on Saturday, that's when the boys going to be participating?
That's correct.
Okay, and then the Sunday we have the girls.
That's correct.
Okay,
but also, additional to that, it has girls participating in with the boys as well.
So it's like we have mixed teams.
Yes, so some academies may not be able to fill an entire team.
Right.
So that's where they ask, hey, could the girls play? I said, once they're okay, I'm cool with that.
So at this time, how many teams in total would have registered to participate?
So right now we have 40 teams.
Wow.
Over the 4 categories.
You can run Tobago Football Association?
Oh my gosh.
40 teams. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. We have at least 5 academies from Trinidad that's going to be coming up, inclusive of Cox Coaching School. We have some new academies such as Pinales Love Ultimate Unisons. We have Hearts and Minds Academy coming out of the Police Youth Club, La Hoqueta Police Academy. So we have a lot going on.
Okay, and in terms of the format itself, because you mentioned you have under 11, under 13, under 15, and all these different categories. How are you going to run the competition in a particular way to have completion in 2 days?
So basically, we are using the Shop Park facility right now.
Oh, sure. So this year, just before we get to explaining the format, you have moved from your home base, which is Plymouth, to Shore Park. Tell me about that change, though.
Actually, it hurted me. Right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the villagers look forward to the tournament.
Because I mean, and Plymouth is like serene in that sense, you know. That's the ambience in Plymouth as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then the community vibes, you know. Just walk down with a cooler and taking an entire day of football. But I mean, what caused that change this year?
So what we would have done last year, because the nucleus of the teams, we had to place the U9s at the back of the pavilion. And if you know how Plymouth is situated, it's posing a safeguarding threat.
And these days they're very serious at safeguarding. They make a joke at safeguarding at all.
I don't want anything to happen to anybody and coming out of Kick It with Karen. So because the tournament is now expanding, we have to ensure that we grow with the tournament.
Understood.
Right? So Shore Park is ideal in terms of the space capacity, where we will be able to have 8 fields on Shore Park.
Wow. So this is like small goal, right? Small goal?
Yes, 7 aside. So it's a 7 aside. So the structure of the tournament is a 7v7 tournament, right? And as I said, it's over 4 different categories, from 9 to 15, and then from 13 to 15 girls, where we have that developmental group. So, you know, we give that group an opportunity to look forward to something. Because when you look at the Women's League, which is the Wolf, it's 11v11, right? So a different structure for that category helps them, you know, have opportunities.
So it's like succession planning for you as well. I mean, this is probably where you started, because I'm sure in your coming to age, Karen Forbes, the national captain as well. You would have participated in all these youth tournaments, and now you are laying the platform for another Karen Forbes in that sense, right? I mean, this must be a difficult task in terms of the logistics to get 40 teams participating and to put them in a format that you can do it for over the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you have a strong team behind you as well.
Absolutely. Help is always needed. Physical help, voluntary help, right? We're having a lot of that this year. This year we have Sports City coming in to do some novelty games.
Big up Sports City. That's Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So they're going to come in and do novelty games because, again, we want to, play football, but we want to make it a family atmosphere. So we will have a coach's race.
Yeah. A coach's race. I like that one. I like that. So it's more than football.
That's
and it's
correct.
just creating that family atmosphere and just to make it a like entertainment in that sense.
Yes.
You're not just coming to watch football, but you can participate in running and whatever other entertainment you have there.
So some of the games that we want to play is three-legged race. We have sack race.
Right.
We have some flat race. So mom's race, dad's race. So now the parents that's going to be there, they could get involved. Right. And we have some nice attractable prices. We have gotten a lot of support from Tobago this year, and I'm really grateful. Yes,
well, if you can list them, if you have it, you can. I mean, it's always good because I've always called on Tobago and incorporate Trinidad and Tobago to get involved in initiatives, just like what you are doing here. Instead of always trying to get the government involved, they're already providing the facilities, and I'm sure they would have assisted in equipment and all these different things. So you can shout out to your sponsors.
So obviously, it's a lot. I would love to big up Ankaba because they would have took the U15 trophy, this year championship trophy. We have Man on the Rocks that's
by Storby.
That's
Ashley,
by Storby.
Ashley McMillan.
And
Ashley.
you know he's a football man.
Yeah. He's a Messi fan, but that's the next discussion. Go ahead.
Right. If I can remember correctly, we also reached out to Ministry of Sports. Right. And with the transition, we are hoping that they continue to support us or support these initiatives in Tobago because it is Trinidad and Tobago, and we have teams from Trinidad and Tobago participating in this tournament as well. So it's always good. We have FATS. FATS is a local business in Plymouth. We have Sunset Minimart. We have First Up. So the local businesses, even though it came out of Plymouth, they're still supporting. And I just want to thank Steve at Sunset Minimart, First Up. Also, I want to thank them for coming on board and the other sponsors that actually there with me. I'm really grateful for them.
Before we go, Karen, once again, tell me the start time on both days and finish time.
Right, so the start time is 9 a.m. sharp. We will have one of our prestigious persons from Tobago, Kirsch Ramsey, is going to open up for us with the national anthem. So that's the 24th and 25th, both days. We're going to start at 9 a.m.
Is there a charge free?
No, admission free.
Absolutely free. Wow. So for those who, I'm not a footballer, I'm a cricketer. So I can come and shoot a penalty and win a prize or something.
Yeah, you come now, man.
That's what I'm talking about. But folks, tomorrow, in fact, over the weekend at Shore Park, it's Kick It. We're carrying the 10th edition. I mean, to get to 10 years, that's an accomplishment, a decade of having it here in Tobago, and of course producing the next Karine Forbes and the next, Dwight York, or even Wasilatopi in that sense. Karine, I want to thank you so much for what you have been doing for the communities in Tobago. In fact, Plymouth and now it's in Shore Park, Scarborough environs. And I wish you all the best tomorrow. I wish you have good weather. And of course, big up to your team and all the sponsors. Big up yourself. Continue supporting sport and the development of sport in Trinidad and Tobago. This has been a very short sporting segment this morning. I'm blaming Ronald Wood for this short segment. But of course, continue to share the live, share the live, share the live. Next, Good Morning Tobago with Natalie.
Health continues to be a priority for the Tobago House of Assembly, and as such, the Tobago Regional Health Authority recently commissioned 3 state-of-the-art high-tech ambulances to continue to provide service delivery to the people of Tobago. This will not only increase the present fleet, but will enhance the emergency medical services across the island in an effort to ensure timely responses when carrying out medical duties.
Today is a proud and momentous day of the Tobago Regional Health Authority, and by extension, the people of Tobago. This, the actual commissioning of these 3 ambulances, you didn't get it. The actual commissioning is not just about adding vehicles to our fleet, it is about strengthening and shortening the critical lifeline that exists between Tobagonians and their healthcare delivery units, the hospitals. As we officially commission these ambulances, let us reaffirm our collective responsibility to serve, protect, and provide quality care for every Tobagonian.
If we are to provide proper health care, we need to be able to provide swift health care. And swift health care requires several things, but 2 broad things. Speed, getting the people to the health service, and then at the health service, getting them diagnosed quickly and then treated. And with those things, I am pleased to be here as we commission 3 of the 4 ambulances. I have heard about the tanks and how battle ready they are. This is just one step. This is just the first step, but it is the first of many. And each of you have been a part of making this first step an amazing reality.
Before purchasing these ambulances, a series of studies was carried out in order to make the best suitable purchases.
I'm pleased to inform you that the work of our technical teams in corporate services, operations, legal services, and TEMS produced a detailed and modern specification requirement list that achieve the delivery of these state-of-the-art 2 patient-ready emergency medical delivery units, the TRHA tanks. Four of these units, as the 3 here demonstrate, are, as you will no doubt observe, just above the average size of the current units in the existing fleet, and will no doubt be applied immediately to work. The next 8 will be single patient ready, slightly more nimble and smaller, again with the most modern specifications necessary to prioritize quality care and quality care delivery in Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong.
And viewers, thank you for staying with us. You are viewing Good Morning Tobago GMT, and I'm your host Natalie Seeley Richardson, and I'll be taking you through the paces this morning. Of course, we must start off this show with our news in 90 seconds. Aiming to cut government spending, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar announced in a post-cabinet briefing plans to reassess state expenditures on property rentals, private security, legal services, and priority bus route passes. She criticized the $493 million spent on property rentals last fiscal year, much of it on expired leases or without cabinet approval, calling it dead money. The government will renegotiate agreements and repurpose unused state properties. Security services costing $500 million annually are also under review, along with over-issued priority bus route passes. Persad Bissessar also vowed to expose overpaid anonymous state attorneys and noted $135 million was collected in property taxes since February 2024. Following the violent altercation outside Mason Hall Secondary School involving students and 2 adults, the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association Tobago officer Brandon Roberts expressed deep concern over increasing youth violence. Roberts attributed the trend to gang culture, lack of parental support, and insufficient educational programs for struggling students. He called for a united response involving community police, social services, educators, and lawmakers. Meanwhile, the Division of Education confirmed an ongoing investigation and emphasized the importance of following school protocols. The ceremonial opening of Trinidad and Tobago's 13th Republican Parliament takes place today at 1:30 p.m. at the Red House in Port of Spain. President Christine Kangaloo will deliver her ceremonial address to a joint sitting of Parliament. Proceedings begin with members of both houses taking oaths and electing presiding officers. The 2 Tobago MPs are expected to be sworn in today. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Of course, before we go to our guest this morning, I just want to say a special morning to Miss Barbara Lyons. I met her while doing some business this week, and she's quite a pleasant lady, so a special good morning to you. You are one of our loyal viewers. And the phlebotomy team at the Scarborough General Hospital. You know, there are some teams who get overlooked, right? We talk about doctors, nurses, but you see the phlebotomists? They know what they are doing. A special good morning to the team there, of course, and to Michael Spencer, who I met this week as well. He is the owner of the petting zoo in Goodwood. You didn't know you have a petting zoo here in Tobago? Well, this is a free ad for Mr. Spencer's Petting Zoo, so check him out. Good morning to you, sir. We go right into our guest this morning. We have Mr. Randy Glasgow, a name I am sure you are familiar with, and if not, well, by the end of the interview, you will definitely know who he is. So he's joining us virtually on set this morning. Good morning, Mr. Glasgow.
Good morning to you, and good morning to all the beautiful people of Tobago. It's a pleasure to be on this morning on your program.
And the name, of course, is associated with Randy Glasgow Productions. He's the CEO. So if you have been in Trinidad and Tobago and, you know, you go to particular shows, events, etc., you know, this is a name that helps produce and puts on events like this. So, Mr. Glasgow, of course, we have you here this morning. We're talking about restarting the new governance. You seem to be very vocal recently on social media platforms on various issues concerning whether it's Tuco, Pan Trinbago, and just our culture in particular. So I want to start off right there so that people can understand what's going on, understand your point of view as well, and of course where you would suggest that we move forward as organizations, as a people. So I just want you to explain what happened, because I know that you pointed out how Tuco would have handled a particular situation, and you compared it to how Pan Trinbago handled the same situation. So tell us more about that, what ensued, what the minister may have asked, how the different groups may have responded, and why did you make a comment on it?
Okay, well, a bad start always, you know, don't have to mean a bad ending, and I want to presume things will work itself out in that regard. What happened basically was Tuco had threatened to take the minister to court because of the minister, you know, wanted certain things within her board and so forth, and she have all right too. And Pan Trinbago, you know, approach it differently, where they bought their membership and the president got a mandate that she will be the person. Whereas Tuco decided to, you know, to take it to court. And we felt that, you know, as a newly minted minister, is not a good way for Tuco to start a relationship. But I want to believe things will work itself out and, you know, common sense will prevail.
Right. And for those who may be unfamiliar with Tuco, tell us who Tuco is and the president. I'm not sure if it's Mr. King Cell or Mr. King. I'm not sure. So you tell us about that.
Yes, it's Mr. King. Yeah, it's who is from Tobago. He's the president, and he's doing a wonderful job. But at times, nobody's perfect, and you make decisions that is not in the best interest of your organization. So I sure things will work itself out. Another argument we had was with this soccer competition.
Before you move on, because I think our viewers need to be quite clear. Sometimes things happen in the public space and we may miss it. So there seemed to be at least some contention, if that may be a strong word, but Tuco responded a particular way. What did the minister require for Tuco to respond in that way?
Well, I don't want to be quoted wrongly, but I think the minister was saying she wanted some new faces on her NCC board.
Okay.
And the guys who served the previous terms, if Tuco could consider and the other organization could consider sending somebody else.
Okay.
And as I said, things will work itself out. I'm sure of that.
Right. And of course, you wanted to talk about the soca industry or calypso industry.
Well, it's a soca competition. There was a new competition that took over from the Soca Monarch that is, part sponsored by the government. And we felt, if the government is sponsoring an event and the first prize is $1 million, we feel the competition should be structured in a way where that $1 million is supposed to stay in Trinidad and Tobago. While we support our Caribbean brothers, what I would have done or what I would have recommended is to have a category within the competition for international artists. So monies are tight in our country, and it used to be long time with oil and gas, so you could readily give $1 million and it doesn't matter who wins. But we feel with that kind of money, it should stay in Trinidad and Tobago. And that was my contention. Because there's every possibility, if the concept remains, you may get the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth places coming from different countries. And I think the intention is to build the soca industry in Trinidad and Tobago. Why they want to help others, but you have to ensure that most of the funding and the big money stays in our country.
And while I understand your point, do you not think that keeping it in the same format it is will allow our local soca artists to up their game? Because if it is that people from the outside are coming in and this is supposed to be ours and they are beating you at your own game, then some sort of change or, should take place.
Well, while I agree with that, if you notice in the soca competition and so forth, you have a number of the big guys don't compete because the prices are not attractive. So you wouldn't get Bungie Garland, you wouldn't get Voice, you wouldn't get a lot of big guys. So in cases like what is happening, you get soca guys who are not up there, but the islanders and the foreigners are better than them in a sense because they start with an advantage where their music is produced way earlier because their carnival start from July going right down, and July, August, there's always a carnival. So their music have more opportunity to build and grow. Whereas the Trinidad artists, they normally comes with their songs in November and December. So they already started at a disadvantage. So the foreigners, as I said, are competing. I wouldn't use the word second tier, but they're competing with guys, not the best Trinidad soca guys. So in most cases, they will come out on top. And I don't think you as a taxpayer, your dad and your family want to be taking our tax dollars to give it to our Caribbean brothers to go back to their country. Let the money stay in Trinidad. So as I said, the best thing is to have a category for the international artists, but the Trinidad and Tobago soca guys have the competition for themselves. The main competition where the main prizes would in fact stay in Trinidad and Tobago.
Fair enough. You also spoke about, the millions being paid and maybe the soca artists, the calypsonians, they have this large purse of prize money. And you said, well, what is happening to Pan?
Yes.
Yeah, what
Yes.
have you observed? Or why would you compare? Because I know people would have commented, well, you probably can't give so much money for pan, or if you do, it's a whole pan side and all of this, and the payment will still end up being small. So tell us a little more about that perspective.
Yes. Pan is our national instrument. And when you look at soca, you look at calypso, you look at chutney, all these genres, you have millionaires. But in the pan, there's no millionaires. So the objective for us really is to put more money into pan, across the board. And we were suggesting that, every year NCC build a North Stand that costs millions of dollars, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, and this is for one event. And when you look at it, people who go into the North Stand for this Panama semifinals, they're going to stand up. They don't sit down.
Right.
So you're building a stand for people to stand up. And that don't make sense. So we're saying, don't build the North Stand, and the monies you save, you put it back into pan. So you make up a Panama first prize $2 million, because presently I think they take to the bank $900,000 to pay 100 pan men or rangers to
Right.
keep the. So it's insufficient. And coming back to the soca, while you're paying the Panorama winner 900,000, one soca person is winning $1 million. So it isn't really making much sense. So the idea is to help the pan, to grow, put more money in the pan, and by eliminating the North Stand, you have $4 or $5 million that is there that you don't have to ask the government for, but put it into pan, and things will happen.
So who puts the money into the prizes? Is it solely the government, or are there also private sponsors that throw in money?
It's the government. Pan Trinbago will get other sponsors to do other things, but the prizes are government.
Okay.
You
And
know,
we're
so
talking about redirecting monies from the North Stand, the whole management of that system. So I just want to be quite clear. It's only erected for Panorama semis. No other event makes use of it.
But it's there, and you have other events there, but it's poorly attended.
Okay.
For some reason, probably the marketing, but the only event that you see, a substantial crowd is for the Panama semifinals.
So what can be used instead of erecting that structure?
Well, you have space. You have a lot of space, and if you look at events abroad, you go to probably Central Park, and you would see the Global Citizen Festival with 70,000 people, and they just utilize the space well. So the same thing could happen, in this scenario, and probably earn more money for Pan Trinbago and the government. We think it's important in this era here is trying to get, the state bodies, the Pan, the Calypso, the Mass, to be self-sufficient. So everything you do must make financial sense. You just can't be doing things and spending money, and so forth, but try to make money. And I think 2026 is a good year to start these initiatives with these bodies, to give them the guidance, give them the support to make sure everything they do makes money for the government and for the people.
And why do you think so much emphasis may be not placed in the area of pan? Because it's an ongoing conversation. We recently changed our coat of arms to reflect an image of the steel pan. We talk a lot about steel pan, but when you look at how steel pan is treated, do you think we are really serious about it being our national instrument?
I would think so. And, I want to take this opportunity to compliment Pan Trinbago and the president, Ms. Moore. I think they're doing a wonderful job, but there's only so much they can do because of the resources. So, more have to be done nationally to accept the fact that Pan is our national instrument, and we have to do more. We have to pay more to go to the events. Sponsors have to come forward. But, it starts with Pan Trinbago and of the different statutory bodies. I think they are doing the best job and will continue to grow under the stewardship of Ms. Beverly Ramsey Moore. And in time to come, pan will be it. I mean, I always say in conversation, pan is Trinidad and Tobago, you know, and we have to give it our all, and we have to push it. We have to make it known worldwide, because a lot of countries play pan and hear pan, but they don't know Trinidad and Tobago is a birthplace. And what happens with that is a lot of countries get into the carnival business, and they would play the pan and they would play the soca and so forth, and the way they do it like if it's their own, and they wouldn't highlight the fact that this is Trinidad and Tobago invention.
And,
So
and
we have
that's
to see.
why, and that, sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Glasgow, and that's why I ask if we are really serious about what is ours, because you see some countries, Japan, there are other countries, when you see what they do with the steel pan, somebody who doesn't know any better will think it's definitely theirs or some part of the world, because are we really taking that world presence and letting, because we have to let people know it's ours.
Yes, and only yesterday I drew the example of reggae and dancehall. The whole world knows that's a Jamaica creation.
Right.
But however, with the soca and the calypso and the pan and the chutney, a lot of the world don't know that it's Trinidad and Tobago products. So we are selling our culture short. You know, what's done is done, but going forward, we have to get the right people to do this and promote our culture as it should, because you know, the other islands are showing you the carnival business is big business, and everybody makes money from carnival, you know, and this is why I want to see the Pan Trinbago and the Tuco and the NCB make money from the events, because if everybody making money, how come, you know, you can't make money? So the focus have to be shifted. They have to get that support, and going forward, I think, you know, things will work out, but you have to get the right people in the right places doing the right job.
Right, and of course we have a new Minister of Culture, Ms. Michelle Benjamin. We have a new government in place. What would you like to see from her and from them?
Well, the minister is newly minted, and she started on a good foot. She's, you know, meeting the players within the industry, but you know, they have to pursue. They have to know what is working and what is not working. What is not working is important. Try to fix it. Get the support for them to make the thing, you know, to make our culture a money earner for our country. You know, over the years, you see the amount of money, you know, spent by the government into NCC and the statutory groups, and I feel that have to change. I feel the country is short of money. I mean, you know, being real, you know, there's no oil and gas as it used to. So we need things like carnival. Over the years, for years and years, we're pumping money into carnival. So the time is now for carnival to repay the country. It's time that, you know, NCC go to the bank with money. You know, not it's not a one-way street anymore. So hopefully the minister will convey, you know, in her way and her style to these bodies that things have changed. You know, when you're getting 16 million, 20 million subvention a year, you can't get that. Getting it, show us what you did with it, how it was spent, what are the benefits to the people in the country. So some hard questions have to be asked in going forward, and everything should be all right. You know, we also want this. I think it's important that Carnival, you know, I know Tobago want to do their own thing, but Trinidad could help Tobago Carnival. And I want to see that relationship develop and that trust, because, you know, you're St. Vincent, Barbados, you call the countries with Carnival, and it's Trinidad they look to. Everything they do is a replica of Trinidad. You want to be different, you can do things different, but Trinidad is the home of you know, Caribbean Carnival and so forth. So Tobago should reach out to Tobago in some tangible ways and make things happen and bigger. So I'm hoping for that.
Right. And of course, you are in, you know, you are in events management, you know, production of events, etc. And you have made quite a name for yourself, of course, in the different various industries that we have. How, and using your experience, your expertise, how do you think we can change the mindset of the people who are part of the organizations like Tuco, Pantrin, Bago, even trickling down to smaller community groups where they wait on the government to hand them money in order for them to accomplish goals? Because you have privatized what some of them are trying to do, and you are progressing with it, you know. So how do we change the mindset, like, you know, go out, do things, do fundraising, plan projects, you know, bring in the revenue so that you can accomplish your goals?
Yes, the mindset has to be changed. Is no longer a handout situation. And, you know, when we were president of the Promoters Association, one of the things we wanted to do, understanding like the NCC operation, the statutory bodies operation and so forth, they fall short in marketing and how to spend monies on logistics and so forth. So, you know, I could see, you know, the best promoters, you know, inviting NCC and the statutory bodies, make use of us. You know, let 3 promoters work with NCC, let 2 work with Tuco, let's, you know, and so on. And I think it will change, because there are about 600 events in Carnival, and 595 all make money. And the 5 events, or the 5% or the 4% that don't make money, are the NCC events.
Right.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Right.
So you have to have that dialogue, and you have to understand, you know, in the promotion business, while you are selfish and want to take your fame and so forth, nothing wrong with that, but you have to understand, you know, if people could help you, you let them help you, because they're Trinidadians. We're all Trinidad and Tobago citizens. So make use of the talent, because the world is doing it. If when Jamaica started, they came out and they choose promoters, they choose events, whatever it is, and that is, you know, replicated with other carnivals. They come to Trinidad and they ask for help, and what help they get, help take them where they are presently. So all the brain stuff for carnival is right there in Trinidad and Tobago. So the first order of the day is to get those bodies off of the handout situation. Carnival is about money. Carnival makes money. Everybody makes money in Carnival. So you have to make money too. There's no oil and gas. Let Carnival be, you know, a money earner for our country. So with that mindset, you know, those facts and those hard talk, things have to change. And that's the difference.
I want to thank you so much for sharing your perspective and, of course, you know, your insight in terms of how we can all move forward. Because from what you have said, I can tell that you would want to see everyone become successful and to really understand how the industry can work for everyone.
Yes, and that's the nature of the entertainment business. You know, is you offering a product that is unique, and they always say there's no business like show business. It's high risk. The bank don't lend you money because they know it's risky, you know, depending on your track record. But, you know, let make Carnival a money earner for our countries, Tobago and Trinidad. Let's take that approach. Let's stop that handout scenario. You know, let's move away from that. If you want funds, show us what you did and what you did with it. You know, once we get that understanding, things gonna be all right. The entertainment industry gonna be like banking. It gonna be like any other major sector, because, you know, you're putting the business sense into it, and that is what is lacking in the entertainment and our carnival industry. People see it as a fun event. It's fun, yes, for the spectators and those who participate in other ways, but with the business of carnival, it must be taken like a business, and it starts with the government. It starts with NCC, Pantrin Bago, Tuco, NCBA, who are getting in 10 years, NCC would have gotten probably about $1 billion. And there's nothing to show for it. We put up a North Stand, we take it on. You know, they build a carnival village that is free to the public. This village costs millions of dollars. But right next to this village, you build a Calypso tent, also costing millions for Tuco to charge an admission fee. So many nights, nobody is paying any money to watch Calypso tent when they can get it free next door. So things like that happens year after year after year without correction, because everybody is just about, you know, wherever it is, which is wrong. So that must be changed. Everything you do must make sense. If it don't make sense, don't do it.
Right, and again, thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. Viewers, that's all the time we have with Mr. Randy Glasgow of Randy Glasgow Productions this morning. Thank you again for taking time out to share with us. Viewers, we go for a break. When we return, we will meet representatives of the Methodist Church right here in Tobago, and they have some special news to share with us.
Passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks. I beat and roll, we beat and roll. I beat and roll, we beat and roll. Spirited, I beat and roll. Spirited, I beat and roll. What to do? Let me see how stick you could get. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could. See how stick you could. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could get. See how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could. See how stick you could. See how stick you could get. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I'm overeating. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I'm over.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl, get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up. It's more than a brunch. It's an experience.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for staying with us. And if you are now joining us, I am Natalie Seeley Richardson, your host for GMT Good Morning Tobago. And you know, when you see me, more than likely it's a Friday, right? So we're starting the weekend, and we're starting the weekend the right way. With me are two gentlemen, Reverend Adolph Davis, who is the Superintendent Minister of the Tobago Methodist Church right here. Good morning, sir. And sitting next to him is no stranger. You listened to him this morning right here on the morning show, Akinlabi Holder, who is a member of the Methodist faith of the Canaan Bonaccord Church. So good morning again, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Right, so I was teasing Akinlabi. I am the interviewer this morning, and he's being interviewed, so I have questions for him. Of course, both of you are here to talk about something special that's happening for the Methodist Church in Tobago, your convention, your 2025 convention. So I don't know who wants to start in terms of Akinlabi. Let me ask you, before I go to the Reverend, the theme. Right, I know it is Aldersgate transformed for the transformation. What does that mean for the church, and maybe even for the younger members like yourself?
Well, for the younger members like myself, I think that transform for the transformation. That's about us, the members, the persons, the people themselves being transformed in order to really make the Methodist Church relevant to the current generation, the current age that it exists in, so that we could serve the society and serve the people that are currently there. So it's about transforming ourselves to the power of the Holy Spirit, so that the church can be transformed and become relevant to the society in which it exists.
And of course, we know that you're a member, but are you a part of any committees for this convention? And if so, what's your portfolio?
Well, I'm a part of the committee that's planning our production that we're going to have in the afternoon session, but I want to talk about that a little later on. So you'll hear more of that a little later on, but I'm a member of the committee, that is responsible for the production itself.
Right, and of course, let me bring the Reverend in. You know, when we talk about a convention for your believers, what are you talking about?
Well, it's an all-day gathering. And good morning as well to the Tobago Updates and other viewers. We thank you as well for having us this morning. So in the morning, we have a wonderful experience of worship. So we start at 9 o'clock, and we have invited a preacher from, well, he's originally from Fiji, but currently in St. Lucia.
So this is on Sunday, right? The 25th, right?
This Sunday coming. And so he's our guest preacher, Reverend Tuinuku Smith. Fantastic servant of God and wonderful preacher as well. So he'll be preaching in the morning. Of course, the morning would be very meaningful experience. You know, we have children doing an interesting kind of dramatic piece to speak to as a message to young people. Fantastic presentation. Of course, singing and other things in the morning worship. And then we break for lunch. And then we have in the afternoon the production Akinlabi referenced earlier. So it's a sort of an all-day thing from 9 to about 3 o'clock or some day 3:30 time together. So that's why we are calling it our Aldersgate Convention. And Aldersgate is also because it's almost like a Founders Day celebration for us as Methodists. The Methodist Church and most other, what you may call evangelical churches, really owe their beginnings to something that happened to John Wesley on 1738, 24th May, at a place called Aldersgate Street in London, England. As a result of his own conversion, when he was already a minister, a priest, and so, but he had this conversion experience where he now realized, look, I have to learn to trust God more rather than try and trust myself. And that change has revolutionized his whole outlook on life. And so that really is where the Methodist Church identifies its beginning.
Right.
But there are a number of other churches, whether Wesleyan, Salvation Army, a lot of the evangelical movements came out of what happened to John Wesley. So it's really remembering that historical event and what it meant, not just for us as Methodists, what it meant for England at the time. It saved England, some say, of a sort of a revolution and unrest, what it meant for the Caribbean, what it meant for Christianity world over, because that John Wesley and his influence was significant in what Christianity looks like today.
And of course, where is this going to be held on Sunday? And I know when we were looking at the flyer a few seconds ago, it's more than just Sunday. So tell us where Sunday is going to be held, the venue, and what we can expect for the rest of the week.
So it's going to be at Shaw Park, and we have arranged, we're going to have some chairs as well in the front by the stage, because we're aware that some of the elderly persons may be a little less mobile.
Right.
And so they can even use, and we have asked for those persons to use the service entrance.
Right, yes.
So that it's easier access. And so Sunday is all day at Aldersgate. And then Monday we have a Zoom session with Reverend Smith, and he is going to be doing a presentation regarding family. Again, it is fantastic, because when you hear how they function in Fiji, how they deal with family life issues. We had, for example, a session on marriage sometime last year, I think, and he did a presentation, and people were shocked the way they approach marriage. So, for example, he said when he was ready to be married, he went to the elders of the church and asked them to recommend some options for wives. So people go, what?
Yeah.
But apparently divorce rates in Fiji is almost minimal. Fantastic kind of a story of how they function in terms of family. In Fiji, he was shocked when he came to the Caribbean and saw that there were almost no men in church. There are cases in Fiji where there are more men in church than women. So it's a whole different kind of community. So he'll be sharing on family.
Right.
Well, he's sharing all through the week. Then Tuesday, we gather on the eastern side of the island, because we know sometimes travel is a challenge. And so we meet at Roxborough Methodist, Ebenezer. It's called Ebenezer Methodist Church, but it's in Roxborough.
Right.
And so we're inviting all persons down that side to come out. And that is 6 o'clock. So Monday is 7, and the other sessions are 6 at Roxborough.
And Monday, is it at a physical location?
No, Monday Zoom.
Okay.
So the link is available, and if you, for those who scan the QR code, they will have access to the link as well too. So the Monday one is Zoom. The Tuesday is in Ebenezer.
Right.
So that's a chance where we will be interacting with him, and he'll be sharing about, their own experience of how people in Fiji live out their faith and what that can mean for us. Because sometimes some of the things we think impossible, we don't realize that human beings, just like me and you, are already living them as a community.
Right.
And so it really is something to encourage us and to give us a different perspective on how people are living in some other places. And on Wednesday, we gather at Mount St. George Methodist Church for those up this side. And then on Thursday, the grand finale kind of where we will all gather at Scarborough Methodist Church, and we will have a time of, prayer for healing and reconciliation and those kinds of things, and anointing on that Thursday service. So Reverend Smith would be the one facilitating all of these activities.
Excellent. And of course, Akinlabi, let me bring you in our conversation. We're talking about having a production. Tell us about that.
So the name of the production is called Redeemed. And what this production really is about, it's telling the story of a young man who found himself in a bit of legal troubles, and how he now has to navigate relationships with others in the church that he's estranged from. And it essentially shows how persons could be led astray from God in different ways. Because sometimes, particularly as Christians, we tend to elevate some sins over others.
True.
And we tend to see some people as being more sinful. And perhaps you might be living a sinful life, but you think of yourself a bit more holy than others because of the way in which you sin. And it really highlights the different ways in which we could be separated from God. And it really shows us that journey back to God, back to reconciliation with God, and that there is salvation for everybody. So that production is set to take place from 1 p.m. on the Sunday at the same Shaw Park venue. and it should last us about an hour or so.
Right.
So those of you who want to see some dramatic presentations, you're interested,
right.
I promise you it is going to be a treat. You're going to have some serious moments, you're going to have some light moments,
right.
some laughter, some reflection, some serious dramatic periods. So there's a bit of everything in it. There's some singing, there's dancing, all the elements of theater that you would like to see. It will be in that production, so come out and enjoy.
And for those of us who know Akinlabi, if he's talking about drama and production, he knows what he's talking about, right? So it's definitely something. So tell me, this convention, Reverend, is it only for Methodists, or can other believers decide, you know what, I want to be a part of this?
Well, I'll answer in this way. Other believers, unbelievers, any believer, anybody, everybody, it's open to all. It's not a Methodist activity. The gospel is not a Methodist gospel. And the message of the production as well, and all that we are doing is for anybody and everybody. And so we are inviting all and every and all. We are inviting everybody anywhere in Tobago to come and share in this time with us. And I have no doubt that you will really find it a very enriching and blessed and uplifting and inspiring and transformative experience, because we're really trying to change lives so that we can change lives.
Yes. And that is so important. And just to remind you, the theme, transformed for transformation. So we are all invited. And for those of you who would like to be a part of the production and the viewing audience, of course, the average schedule time, we're looking at 1 p.m. and we are all invited. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for sharing with us. We wish you, success, and for the Methodist Church to continue, letting their presence be felt in this beautiful island.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us as well.
All right, so viewers, we are not quite finished. We have one more set of guests coming up on the other side of this short break, so stay tuned.
Saving up to go. Anything we not backing down, like a bomb we ready to explode. Ain't gonna wait until my back against the wall. Ain't gonna.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Thank you, viewers, and welcome back. Sitting with me this morning in studio, two gentlemen, Mr. Owen Dillon and Mr. Ricardo Alfred, both from the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company that we know as TADCO, and Mr. Ricardo Alfred is the board chairman, and Mr. Owen Dillon is the director of crop production. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning.
These two gentlemen are here to enlighten us about a program that was launched yesterday, Community Care Program. So we'll hear what this entails, how we can be a part of it, the genesis of it. All right, so let's get right into our conversation this morning. Community Care Program, what does that entail?
Right, so good morning to Tobago, right? The intention behind the community care program is to identify various persons in the community who are at risk as relates to health and also their social well-being. These persons will be identified by the various assemblymen for the different areas. The aim of this really is to provide a nutritious and healthy option as relates to meals and preparation of that. Farmers and the agro-processors were engaged. We are definitely going to be getting a lot of these healthy products directly from Tobago, from the Tobago farmers. The program will run for about 6 months, after which there will be an evaluation. And then we will then have that data that will go towards the various divisions for further interaction. But the impact from this really is to gather the data as to what Tobago is actually producing. This data would be used to go afterwards to the hotels and to the restaurants and this type of industry, so that we can therefore possibly act as a medium between the hotel and the farmer. There's a difference between the marketing and the planting and harvesting of these products, so to take some of the burden off the farmers and the processors.
Right, so I think I missed some information in between there, Mr. Alfred. You mentioned a graduation. So persons are going to be identified by the various assemblymen, right? Those who are at risk for...
As relates to their social well-being, as relates to their...
nutrition, you mentioned, good. And when these persons are selected, they are going to go through training.
Right. What is going to happen? The identified persons will therefore receive these packages. So it's a collaboration with health as well.
Okay.
Whereas health will provide we are liaising with their nutritional unit in terms of providing a nutritious products to these persons actually.
Okay. And where does the graduation in terms of, because I want our viewers to be clear, when people hear graduation, they think of a ceremony and all of that, right? And so explain it so that they will get it, because sometimes people listen to information and run with something totally different.
It wasn't graduation. The persons will be identified by the assemblymen, assemblymen.
Okay, and they go through that training, they would learn. It is talking about taking care of our community. Mr. Liddell, where do you come in? Because I know you as a farmer as well. Where do you come into all of this? Taking care of maybe, those who may need to get more information, be educated, so that they can better provide for their families in different ways. We're looking at nutrition, etc. So tell us where you come in.
Okay. As the director of farming production crops, my responsibility is to make sure after the farmers are selected that we visit the farmers and make sure the farmers are practicing what they call good agricultural practices.
Right.
The idea is to provide safe and healthy food. We don't want to go there and select a product that is not healthy for the farmers.
Right.
So there must be a certain quality, there must have a certain standard, and I'm responsibility for that team to go out and actually visit the farmers once they have registered with the program, so we know exactly what we are getting for the clients.
Right.
And also to avoid what they call pre-deal larceny. We don't want somebody to register and tell us, listen, I have mangoes, and when you go by your farm, you have no mangoes.
You pick my mangoes and
pick some of these mangoes. Trying to avoid it and make sure you have quality assurance where we bring the products.
Right. So these selected farmers will be part of this program, and I like how it's various groups being involved, and everybody can benefit in some way or the other from different ends of this kind of program. And I like the idea where it's not just one division, but you're talking about also collaborating with health and benefiting from their expertise. So we're talking about the farmers who would be selected to provide the food, right, that will be then given to these families, these clients identified. Is there an end date for this program? How is it really going to be work? What's the end of it? When you select these families, yes, they are provided for. Is it something that's going to go on indefinitely? What's the hope at the end of a certain timeline?
The first phase of this program will be for 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, there will be an evaluation. This is actually where we are.
Right.
What were the benefits derived from the program? Health department are going to do have people on the ground because some of the individuals come from the health directly from health, who are in their database, and they are going to continue to follow up with the individual, be it exercise, be it their diet, to see exactly if there's an improvement. At the end of the day, we want to see people live healthy, long life.
Right.
Once we are successful in this, it means that have an impact on the health department, whereby the bill at the end of the month for the health department can be reduced.
Right, and that's important.
Yeah.
And you know, when we have community projects like this or even programs, some of us get it, but some of us, you know, we still don't grasp the whole concept of it. And Mr. Alfred, just for the benefit of our viewers, when we look at programs like this, and Mr. Dillon would have mentioned, you know, 2-3 of the benefits, what's the ultimate goal really of setting up programs like this?
Right, so, you know, Tobago, as relates to the agricultural produce, lacks a lot of data. So from this data, we would therefore know exactly who is planting what and the quantity and the consistency in which they can produce it. You know, this is what I believe that the grocery owner, the restaurant owner, the supermarket persons would definitely want to know, you know, and this data will be provided to them so that they will have a cadre of persons that they could choose from as relates to supplying their goods directly here from Tobago, bringing a more fresher, a more, I don't want to use the word a more healthier option, but a more consistent option as relates to supplying their shelves and stuff like that. So that's a major impact. And another impact as well is that you are providing the nutritional and a healthy option to the persons who are at risk right now in our healthcare sector, therefore reducing the amount of visits among persons with different lifestyle diseases to the healthcare.
And that is so important. And again, you know, I have to stress, viewers, that I'm hearing of this project and learning of it just like many of you are today. And I think it's so important when we have projects like this where we can all benefit. You're talking about, we know a lot of people, the NCDs, the diabetes, and these kind of lifestyle diseases. And if there is some program that can help reduce the figures, help reduce those who are impacted by these things for a healthier option. Of course, kudos to that. Now, again, I always say I like to make the connection for the viewers. So we know this is under the Division of Agriculture, Food Security, and TADCO seems to be taking the lead on it. Tell us why TADCO.
Well, TADCO is a Tobago Agribusiness Development Company. We are the executing agency, and we are best poised at this point in time to actually receive the goods from the farmer, do the package, and do the distribution. And it's the reason we are given the responsibility, and because of our commitment over the years, we would have been chosen to do the rollout of this program.
Right. And for viewers who are listening and you think you may fall into that group that can become, a client or be a part of the process, whether it's a farmer, and I know you mentioned the assemblymen will look at their communities, their districts, but how will the farmers be engaged?
Okay. In Tobago, we have 8 agricultural districts, and each district has agricultural officers. The officer's responsibility is to intervene. It should be the connectivity between the division and the farmer.
Right.
The information about the farmers being registered would have been out in the public domain.
Right.
The responsibility of the extension officers to also engage the farmers to register in the program. Once the farmers are registered, then we take it from there. We visit the farmers, have a conversation with the farmers, and then they become part of the program. Even before they supply, the first set of farmers would have been engaged in a training program. With post-harvest, and so know exactly how to harvest the produce in order to extend the shelf life of the product, or to transport the product from their farms to TADCO compound. All those things are very important because we want to deliver a healthy product. We want to harvest the factory at 10 o'clock in the morning, hot sun. When it comes to shop back, it crinkles. We don't want that, so we give it the training before.
Right.
Going forward, we want to make sure that as a farmer, you do this as a business. At the end of the day, you must be a businessman. So even as we go forward, we are planning to do things like more training for the farmers, like production planning, so you can know exactly how to plan your production so you can get your things on time to come into the program. All those things we are putting in place for the farmers.
A question just popped into my head. Do you have an age limit? Because I have one of my sons. He's just 10 years old, but he's always planting something. But he is quite an entrepreneur because he's not just planting for mommy to cook. He's planting so that he can sell. Can he be registered as a farmer, or you have to be an adult to be registered?
In order to actually sell, you don't have to be an adult to be a farmer. But in order to actually
go through the program, adult development will be involved.
Right.
Because it means we have to be paid, procurement have to engage
Right.
you.
No, but even outside, not this part of the program, but just in general.
No.
Like, you have teenagers, you have some of them quite entrepreneurial, and they take the agriculture business seriously. And just to be a registered farmer in Tobago.
No, the registration there is a process. There's a different process. You must be of a certain age.
Right.
But in order to participate in this program, you have to be an adult.
Right, of course. I was just curious about, being registered as a farmer in general on the island, because I'm quite aware you have some young people who are not adults as yet, but they take the agricultural business quite seriously, So I guess you have to wait until you get to that age to be registered, and then you can be part of other projects. It was just, because he's always trying to plan something. He loves it, right? He probably got that from his dad, definitely not from me. So, let's listen out for more initiatives like this, the community care program. Those of you who are hearing and you think, again, you can fall into the group of being a client, you can reach out to your assemblyman, your area representative, and find out more about it. Of course, I'm sure you will be hearing from them as well as they go through the paces to select, those who are deserving of being the receiving end of this community care program. So thank you so much for stopping by to share with us. Good luck on the project. And of course, we are waiting to hear, because I know Mr. Alfred said it's also for data collection, and how important that is as we continue to plan for our island. So we too will wait to hear, what you all found out, and how you can continue to chart the success of Tobago's agricultural sector. So viewers, this is it for this morning. It is Friday, the start of our weekend. I always remind us to be safe, and I always encourage us, yes, you are your brother's keeper. Let's continue to look out for each other as we share this beautiful place called Tobago. So have a fabulous weekend, and you'll see us right here again next week on The Morning Show and GMT. So continue to be safe.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security,